Hey guys, the other Zach here with another tier list. Today we're going to be looking at how fun every single killer is. Now, when we're talking about fun, there's two ways to look at it. How fun are the killers to play as, and how fun are they to play against? And both are very valid and important viewpoints to look at it at, because, I mean, they both need to be considered. The game has both survivors and killers. I've ranked every killer on how fun they are to play as, and how fun they are to play against. And I've averaged them out, and we're going to see which one's the most balanced in terms of fun. Before I start, I gotta say the usual YouTube stuff. I mean, if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. I don't know. I'm probably pointing at it. I'll just cover all my bases and use all of my fingers. Yeah, I do that. I'll probably make more content like this. And look, before I start, I should make sure you know this is obviously very subjective. So if you have a difference in opinion, let me know. Just tell me in the comments. Do it. Starting things off in dead last, we have the Clown. The Clown is neither fun to play as nor against. I do not have fun anytime the Clown is involved in any of my matches. Playing it, snooze fest. Playing against it, snooze fest. There's just nothing engaging about his gameplay to me. It's just tossing area of effect bottles that slow survivors down. The screaming's kind of fun. Every time survivors scream when they get hit, I guess that's fun. But like, there's just nothing engaging about it. It's boring. And then from a survivor side of things, nothing is fun. The chases aren't fun. The music is pretty good though. Second from last, we have, probably unsurprisingly, Freddy. Freddy is also not fun for either people. The only fun thing about Freddy as a survivor is the fact that survivors like do that thing with their head where they just kind of like bobble around. Like, that's hysterical to me. But other than that, it's not very fun. But playing as him, I mean, he's got all these powers. He's got cool powers. He can teleport to generators. He can place little weird traps. You'd think it would be fun, but it ends up being boring. Like, it feels, even if I do well as Freddy, it never feels rewarding. It's like, oh, yeah, there we are. When it comes to the Hag, I might just be biased as a filthy console player, but I don't find the Hag very fun to play. I think it's because I can't turn around ever quick enough when I get the teleports. Like, in theory, I think the Hag is fun. I don't really enjoy the slow, meticulous trap setting killers as much anyways. But when you get a trap that sets off and you make that good play, like, it is really exciting and fun. I really struggle with that. I don't know if it's because I just suck or because I'm playing console. I'm going to blame it on console, though, so I don't have to confront these feelings. But then as Survivor, I find she's just boring to play against, generally. I think it might just because people play her kind of boring, because they kind of have to. She's slow, and her play style lends itself to sticking around one area and not leaving that, and that includes if you're on the hook and placing traps around the hook. Like, that's a valid strategy playing Hag, but it's just not very fun to play against. The only thing that is fun is the jump scares that are constant with the Hag, because when you run into her traps, like, it's fucking terrifying. At least for me, I shit my pants every time, but I enjoy shitting my pants. Not physically, not like in a, you know what I mean. Next up is Trickster. The Trickster I want to like. I really want to like. I like the Trickster in concept a lot. I really enjoy hearing him laugh. Even if I'm on the receiving end of the laughter, you know, like, it's just, I like the fact that he's getting a lot of joy out of this. But the Trickster does not spark joy for me. The thing is, his, like, throwing mechanic, I just don't find very fun or rewarding, you know? Like, the Huntress, when you get a good throw, it feels really good. But the Trickster, it's like, you get a good throw, and then you've got to get 5 more of those. And then as a survivor, I don't really find him fun either. The chases feel like they're over in an unrewarding way. I never feel excited or tense, or it always just feels like underwhelming and like, yeah, that happened. His music fucking rocks though, and I have fun just hearing the music, like, but that's about where the fun ends. I don't find him very fun to play against. Now, the Legion is the first killer, I think, where the fun is more balanced towards one side, specifically killer side. I actually really enjoy playing the Legion. I think a lot of people don't, but I find just the mindless running around and stabbing very fun. I just enjoy every so often having a killer that doesn't involve me having to think too much, you know? Most of the thinking is done for you as a Legion. Once you start running and stab, like the information's there, you know where the other people to stab are, you just continue running along and stabbing. And even if you don't do good, you're just having a great time just running around stabbing folks. To play against, the Legion fucking sucks. You're just constantly healing. And that's not fun. Already, as Survivor, a lot of the gameplay is just holding down one button as you're doing gens. The Legion just makes you hold that one button in a different situation to heal over and over and over and over and over again, like it doesn't stop. Next up, we have Deathslinger, who's in a pretty similar boat to the Legion. I think universally, people mostly agree. Maybe one of the few things that people really agree on in Dead by Daylight is Deathslinger's not very fun to play against. I mean, the one thing I'll say playing against the Deathslinger that I like is the tension I feel when I don't know if he's going to shoot or not. Like, I get, like, my back, my shoulders raised. It's like, I don't know, I feel very tense. But after that, it's not very fun. It's just like a repetitive, all right, he's here and you're shot and you're being reeled in. There's not much you can do. It's just kind of done. The Deathslinger on the killer side is a little more fun to play, a little less so recently since he's been patched and he aims about this slowly. It's much better when you can just quickscope, you know, like intervention MW2. But it is still fun getting to run around and shoot survivors and reel them in. I get some joy out of that. I like a little taste. I'm not really one for first-person shooter games, but I like the little taste of it in Dead by Daylight. He's all right. He's decent. I do have sort of fun playing him. I rate Bubba quite low for fun. I don't really have fun playing against Bubba, but I don't think that's Bubba's fault by design necessarily. It's just the way people play Bubba generally is annoying. I feel like I run into more annoying Bubba players than anything else. But also that's partly because his power lends to him just kind of being annoying. Like getting instant downed all the time isn't fun, and his design makes him fantastic at camping the hook and getting everybody down after camping the hook. Like, he is just so good at that. It's like, why would you not do that when you're playing Bubba? But it doesn't translate to having fun. Usually, most of my Bubba matches end with, okay, maybe I'll switch to killer now. But on the flip side, Bubba is actually really fun to play. I've only come around to him recently, mostly because I didn't know how to play him until recently. But playing him, it's another one like the Legion where I don't really have to think very much. I kind of just run around and with a chainsaw, you know? Like, it's just good fun, good mindless killing, which is what it's all about after all. So next up, the Plague. The Plague, despite being low on the list, is perfectly average. Like, I mean, to play against her, she's right middle of the board average, and to play as her, middle of the board average. Elements of her playing against her can be kind of unfun. The fact that she invalidates anything to do with healing whatsoever can be frustrating, because I only seem to get her when I bring a health kit. So that can be frustrating, but generally it also shakes things up a little bit and makes you play differently, which I like. So I don't know, I'm kind of balanced out between like being annoyed by it and like, damn, I like the difference in gameplay. Where I think as killer, I want to like her more. I feel like I'm held back by the fact that I suck with the Plague, and I don't find the puking very consistent, like when it actually hits people. I get really frustrated every time I play Plague and I'm using the angry red puke and it looks like it should be a hit, but it just doesn't. It seems to happen a lot. I like the whole puking on things and getting survivors infected. I like that aspect. I like that it changes things up. I'm not always going for M1s. I'm puking and waiting for them to get sick and then M1ing them, or getting my angry puke, and, you know, like, that's fun. But it's not fun enough. I'm not having enough fun with all of those different things to, like, counter how annoyed I am that I suck at her and certain things just don't seem to work as intuitively as they should. She's like level, average, medium, true neutral. Billy is an inversion of the way the Legion feels, where it's not very fun to play as, but so much fun to play against. I have not had a single Hillbilly match where I'm not having a ton of fun. And part of it is knowledge that, like, Billy's hard to play. Playing against, I don't know, watching that man, like, zoom past in the distance or zoom around, it's exciting, it's stressful. I don't know, every Survivor game I play against the Hillbilly, I'm enjoying myself. Playing He's another killer I really want to enjoy, but he's really frustrating, and like it feels like Bubba does most of what he does besides the mobility, just better in every way. I feel like if I want to run around as someone with a chainsaw, I'm just gonna go be Bubba. In general, he just feels weaker than other killers, so it doesn't feel worth it to play. But playing against him, to those that play Hillbilly, thank you. The Doctor is another killer who is a lot more fun on the killer side of things than on the survivor side of things. Playing against him can feel really kind of boring. The constant screaming, you can't really hide at all from him. The fact that I mean, you can. There's ways around it. But it can be kind of annoying. I know I'm not the biggest fan of playing against Doctors. I find the matches not ever really that fun. And then playing as him, it's pretty fun. It's not the most fun, but it's pretty fun. I mean, getting to shock people with that area of effect, static blast. It's nice. The information's fun. Like, it's cool. All of the different effects that come out of making them go crazy can be fun. But it's pretty average, I guess. Maybe I should have lowered that score a little bit. Twins is fun to play. Not very fun to play against. I really enjoy playing the Twins. I might be the only one, maybe one of 4 people, because I rarely, if ever, face the Twins. But I have a lot of fun playing the Twins. Even if I do horribly, just running around as Victor and fucking launching myself at survivors feels really fun. I like that scramble afterwards. Like, I like the quick turnaround from like, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill you and jump on you, to, oh my god, you're gonna kick me, you're gonna like that moment of panic. I enjoy that. I think that's a lot of fun. I like the concept of like switching between them. I like being able to leave one of them in a location and switch back to them, and it lends itself to some really cool gameplay, and I think people are sleeping on the Twins. Playing against them, though, not super fun. It's a little more exciting because just by the mere fact that they're so rare. But the way to play them effectively tends to lend itself to a lot of slugging, so you end up laying on the ground a lot, and it just doesn't end up being very fun. The only part that's fun is dodging and kicking the baby. The Wraith. The Wraith has been one of my mains since I started playing the game. He was like my first killer I truly loved. I love his mobility. I love playing him, but I find most matches against Wraith to be kind of miserable. The fact that he has all this mobility, like he just moves so fast, that's fun right away. I like highly mobile killers. I like being able to get around really fast. I have a lot of fun with that. And the fact that he goes invisible, really awesome. And he's got some really cool add-ons too that can vary the gameplay. But playing against him, I don't know, man. Every Wraith match I have lately just makes me sad. He's really easy to just kind of camp the hook, which is just not fun. You can very easily say he just gets a free hit most times when he runs up and uncloaks, which can feel kind of unfun and kind of cut short any chases. There's a lot of ways to counter him, mind you, but I don't know. He's just not super fun to play against. What is fun is when you have a flashlight and you can stun him right out of invisibility. It's great for people like me who can't use a flashlight to save their life, because that is the only time I can use a flashlight to actually save my life. Next up, we have Pinhead, who is in a similar place to the last 4 killers we've talked about. Fun to play as, not very fun to play against. Playing against him, I mean, it's fun in the chases and, dodging the chains. I enjoy that sort of play, but the idle chains that spawn if you don't get the chain hunt in time can just be really frustrating and kind of boring. Playing as him, though, I mean, those chain hunts are invaluable. The information you get from them, the slowdowns, and using the power in chase, I really enjoy it. I enjoy every time I get to a pallet and quickly getting one out and quickly getting it. It's not fun to aim if you have to get them from a long distance, but when you get those short range things and can quickly counter them around loops, I find it to be a more engaging version of the clown, It's a lot more difficult than just tossing a bottle, but in that difficulty, it's fun. The challenge is more fun. I really enjoy playing Pinhead. Next up, we have the Piggy. Now, the Piggy is the first killer who is kind of fun for both sides. Not super fun, but mostly fun for both sides. Playing as Piggy, I like the stealth mechanic. I like the ambushing, the dashing. That's a lot of fun, but it does feel kind of weak sometimes. But then the added bonus of getting to place the traps on people, I like that it adds this second objective to the survivors, and it slows things down, and that can be kind of fun, like managing that. It can be frustrating though. Pig feels pretty weak, like it's pretty easy to get out of the traps. It feels really rewarding when the traps go off, but when like nothing comes of the traps, when they just get off, it's the fact that it's due to RNG basically, which can be frustrating. And then it's kind of the same on the other side. Like as Survivor, it's fun that it adds this added objective, but it feels really unfortunate, the fact that it's due to RNG. Sometimes you just lose because you couldn't find the fucking thing to take off the trap, and that feels frustrating. But it can be kind of exciting. I like the shaking up the gameplay. I like facing stealth killers for the most part. I don't know. I feel like across the board, Pig's kind of okay, you know? Like it's mostly fun most of the time for both sides. But all that said, I still think we need to nerf the Pig. Look, I'm winking. It's a joke. It's a joke. Joke, please. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Next up, we have the Spirit. I feel like this might be controversial, maybe. The fact that I have the Spirit so high up, because the Spirit gets a lot of hate. But honestly, I don't hate facing the Spirit. It's not super fun, but it's not fun either. I kind of enjoy predicting where she was going to come out. I actually miss when she could pull off the stupid, like, stand still plays. A lot of people shat on that mind game, just standing still, but I found it hilarious every time it would work, and I liked sort of predicting around it. I still like it now that you can kind of like hear where she is as she's phasing. I don't know. I feel like it leads to some interesting gameplay. And playing as her is actually, it's a lot of fun. Going invisible, having to track them where you can't actually see their scratch marks anymore, having to rely on your ears more than your eyes shakes things up in a very interesting way. I struggle to play her when I'm streaming because I'm talking a lot, so I can't rely on my ears, but I play her more off stream because I don't know, if I can allow myself to get focused and like really use my ears, it's fun. It's fun engaging in a different sensory modality. The Nemesis is another killer who is a lot more fun as killer than he is as survivor, but he's still mostly fun as survivor. Like I still have an average amount of fun playing against him. The zombies, they really don't do much. They don't really add. They add some humor to the match. I enjoy them regardless. It can be annoying once they hang out around your gen. That can get annoying. But generally, they're kind of useless, and they're mostly just there for comic relief. As killer, though, super fun. Assuming you can get out of tier... If you can get some of those whips off and tier yourself up really quickly, then you become unstoppable at pallets and windows. You just become this fucking monster, totally in control of pallets especially, which feels fantastic as killer, just being this fucking yeehaw whipping cowboy bitch god. Trapper I find mostly fun all around. I don't love playing Trapper. I like the idea of the slow, meticulous planning Trapper, and like when you place some good traps that end up working, that feels really good. Playing against Trapper though, I really enjoy. I find the jump scare value I get out of traps very fun. Even if I get like locked down in the basement, I don't know, it's a different type of gameplay. The blocking things off with the traps feels fun to me. Maybe I'm alone in that. I don't think I am though. That's about all I have to say. I thought I had more to say about the Trapper, but apparently not. Now we're up at the killers that are just generally fun across the board, and Ghostface is a good example of that. Ghostface is really fun to play and really fun to play against. I do really enjoy the slow sort of stalking your prey type of gameplay, especially if they don't know you're there, getting to sneak up on them and startle them. Playing against Ghostface, same thing. A lot of fun. The jump scare value alone is fun. Like Dead by Daylight's not a terribly scary game once you play it enough, but Ghostface is one of the few that keep that fear factor. I get scared playing against Ghostfaces. It startles me. There's some tension and having to watch over your back, you know, like check over your shoulders when you're on the generators. I like that a lot. I find that really engaging. Where he loses points, especially playing him, is how unpredictable his reveal mechanic can be. You know, sometimes the survivors, it doesn't seem like they should be able to reveal you at all, and suddenly you're revealed, or it just doesn't, it doesn't seem to work properly. So that can be kind of frustrating because a lot of your power revolves around that. And it can be frustrating when that gets taken away constantly, and like so many actions take away that ability. Even if you can't have fun with that, he's like one of the only killers you can like effectively teabag back at survivors, which is also fun. You can take in some of the joy that is bouncing up and down. Next up is Pyramidhead. Now, I think Pyramidhead is one of the most fun killers to play. He's one of my mains, and I have fun in pretty much every match that I play him in. I don't have fun every match facing him, but most of my matches, they're fun. It can be kind of annoying being able to be instant killed all of the time, but not that bad. I don't mind getting hit through walls, when Pyramidheads can pull it off effectively. I respect that, and it feels fun. It's a nice sort of subversion a little bit. I like that the cages are kind of fun and interesting and new weird gameplay mechanic other than just going on hooks. I like it. I don't love it. I like it, though. But playing as him, love it. Everything about it is so much fun. Being able to instant send survivors to a cage instead of a hook, amazing, useful. The final judgment, that's really fun and rewarding when you get to do that. And then his main ability, being able to fucking shoot through the walls, feels amazing when you can land those hits. That's the part I really enjoy. I really like using it. It's so much fun to use, and it shakes up every loop, I find, where it's not just the same sort of song and dance at every single window or palette. You have some more options on what you want to do, and that feels amazing. It's a lot of fun. Next up, we have the Blight. Now, playing the Blight feels like bashing your head into a wall. It's incredibly boring. Hold on a second. Wait, no. Playing the Blight is bashing your head into a wall, and it's so much fun. Seriously, even in games where I lose horribly, I am 99% of the time still having fun playing Blight. The sheer mobility that he has and the ping-ponging off of walls, smashing yourself into things, it is just so much fun. I mean, granted, there are some frustrating aspects with him. He does slide off a lot of surfaces, but once you kind of learn which surfaces he slides off of and doesn't, it's not as frustrating. It's always frustrating, but it's never boring. So I'm going to keep him up at 10 because it's just it's literally constant fun. It's just adrenaline Blight fueled fun. Now, playing against him can be kind of a mixed bag. He's still very fun to play against because he's constantly zipping around. He's kind of unpredictable. But the thing is, because he's got such a high skill floor, he's also got a really high skill ceiling. People that are really good at Blight are really good at Blight, which means you can sometimes just get completely steamrolled by someone who really knows what they're doing with the Blight, and there is nothing you can do about that, and that can feel kind of upsetting. But for the most part, most Blight matches are fun. Now, Michael Myers, he's kind of the reverse Blight, where every match against him, always fun. Every match with him, it's usually fun, but sometimes iffy. Playing against him, it is always full of jump scares. As soon as you hear that first tear up little piano noodle, my heart starts pounding. Every single Myers match is tense. The gameplay's all shaken up because you don't have to fear him at times because he's really slow and probably not going to catch you, but then he's just a ticking time bomb. Playing as him, it can be a little slow and frustrating at times, if you can't get those stocks in, if they're really playing well, if there's certain maps where you don't have good... You can't get a good view of the survivors. It can be frustrating. But then if you play it right and if things just go just right, then you are suddenly this absolute killing machine, and that feels amazing. And he's got a built-in Mori ability with certain add-ons, which is fun. Even as Survivor, I don't mind it when a Myers gets one of his out-of-nowhere Moris on me. If I had to put in a word, exciting is the word. He's just usually exciting, but sometimes a little less exciting on the killer side, which is why he's a 7. The nurse is almost perfect. She is super fun to play. She is super fun to play against. Playing against her, and as her actually, she disregards all other general rules of looping and rules of getting around the map. It just shakes things up in a fantastic way, and I find that super fun. Every nurse match is going to play extremely differently than every other killer's matches will play. And she's got a similar thing as the Blight where because she's got such a high skill ceiling, nurses that are really good are really, really fucking good. It can be frustrating if you just get completely steamrolled by a nurse, but I still enjoy it because it takes a lot of skill to get that good. So it's I don't know. I don't even mind getting completely destroyed. She loses just a little bit of points on the playing as her side because as much as I love playing the nurse, she can be really frustrating when things aren't going well. Her blink ability, it can be frustrating too, the way you can teleport into basements or just teleport onto the wrong floor. Even with the add-on that shows you where you're going to blink to, it can still be really unpredictable as to when you're going to actually get where you want to go. And the fact that she's constantly wheezing in your ear every time she does literally anything, it can get a bit annoying. Like, I found that I've stopped playing the nurse for a bit because I was just so tired of the fucking fatigue every 10 seconds. So she loses some points there, but still, the mere fact that she can disregard, like, everything else, she can just go wherever and do whatever she wants. She's her own... The world is her oyster. Though I guess you could argue she's not fun if you don't know how to play her. But even then I found she was fun trying to master her. Next up, we have the Redacted. The Demogorgon, who recently got removed from the store, is one of the most well-rounded, just all-around fun killers in the game, in my opinion. Playing against the Demogorgon is pretty much always fun. The constant screaming coming out of him is just fun and, like, frightening and amusing all in one, just as it is. But then even his gameplay is fun. The fact that he can kind of teleport wherever, but you can also counter that teleportation ability, really great. His shred, it's like very tense to me. I get really tense every time it's going to happen because you don't know when he's going to pounce out. And then on the actual killer side, playing him, same thing. The fact that he can place these portals and teleport all over the place. He's got some amazing mobility, and that's really fun. And then just walking around shredding, it's actually satisfying. It seems like a simple mechanic. It's just like launching yourself at them, but I really like that. It's the same thing I like about playing Victor when I'm playing the twins. It's just like inherently fun to fling yourself at things. Maybe that's why I like the Blight too. Maybe I should start flinging myself at walls in real life and see if I like that. The Oni is another nearly perfect killer in terms of fun. Playing as killer, it's so much fun. It's so much fun sprinting around. The dashing and the slamming mechanic is a lot of fun. How would it not be fun running around as this big, angry, terrifying man and smashing things? There's nothing more fun than smashing things. As Survivor, it's still really fun. That moment where you hear him start to rage, where you hear that sound effect kick in and you know he's in his demon fury, is like a pants shitting moment. Like it's terrifying, and I like that switch where it's suddenly I'm in danger, and then like trying to avoid the super fast, even just seeing him zip past, just like the Hillbilly. It's fun. I think he's a very well-rounded, just generally fun, well-designed killer. And then the number one most fun all-around killer is the Huntress, in my opinion. Playing the Huntress is a lot of fun. Throwing the hatchets is very, very satisfying. I mean, it can be frustrating if your aim is off, but it's a lot of fun still. There's really not much else to her gameplay, really. It's literally just throwing hatchets. And somehow that is incredibly fun. I don't really understand why I love it so much. I mean, I dislike other killers for how simple they are. Like the clown, I dislike how simple... Maybe it's the fact that it's still challenging. I'm not sure. I know I just find her gameplay to be incredibly engaging. It can be difficult sometimes to aim correctly, and you gotta know like the hitboxes and where things go and when to throw, but it's very satisfying when you do land those hits. And to play against, she's very fun. I mean, a lot of the time there'll be lots of hatchets that miss, but it's fun having to like be aware of not just her physically being close to you, but you have to kind of be aware of her at all times, especially if you're in the open, because she does have the capability to injure you anywhere you go, and that kind of ups the fear factor. And her lullaby that's always going is really creepy and really adds to the fun. She's just all around fun to play. Very simple in design, but effective. And I think she's number one. And that's everybody. Well, except the artist, but she just came out as of recording this video, and like I haven't played as her or against her enough to really make like a proper judgment, so I'm gonna leave her off the table for a bit. I hope you had a good time. Otherwise, I'm sure you didn't make it this far. If you're still watching this for some reason, like go do something else. Probably this has been a long video. Go get some fresh air, a glass of water. No, for real, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Have a good day.